Good morning, evening, afternoon, XIers. Hope you are doing fantastic. Welcome to Moss on Sunday, where, well, we explain life, right? Through a very, very different point of view. Just to make Moss on Sunday more exciting for you, what we've done is we've decided to transform it quite a bit. For you this weekend. This is a recording, by the way, because I'll be flying to Africa to do some work or do some lectures on in some universities out there. So that's going to be exciting for me. So I'll keep you up to date. If you follow the Telegram XI with Sajady, you'll get to see my adventures out there and see what we start to know or understand, or how we can help those individuals out in Africa. All right. So again, welcome back to Moss on Sunday. In this section, like I said, we're changing it quite a bit, so to help you benefit from it more. This segment of Moss on Sunday is called Life Explained. It gives you all the questions or answers. It gives you the answers of all those questions throughout life that people have tried to explain, right? And the way I explain it, obviously, is going to be very different, is because I come from a different, say, consciousness. This consciousness, or this viewpoint, comes from through near-death experiences. So like Einstein, I've moved myself out of this reality and see things from a different reality or different consciousness. Okay. By the way, I talk about consciousness and realities and dimensions and so on like that. If you go to the Moss Experience on the Best You TV, which can be found on Roku and some of the others, just look up Best You TV, and you'll see, and you can listen to some of the topics, again, the Moss Experience, and you'll understand how time and space work. Anyway, coming back to this segment, I'll be answering a lot of questions, quite a few of them actually. So I'm going to try to get as many as I can. I've got a timer here, so I'm going to try to limit myself. A lot of these in-depth questions can be answered on some of the podcasts that I do, some of the lecture series that I do, some of the events that I do. Okay, so these are just gleaning, but it'll give you enough information to help you understand the first principle reason, or the first principles answer on a lot of these questions. A lot of times, you get these questions answered, and it's like, okay, what do I do with it, right? So these are top level answers to a lot of the questions that have, well, kind of been around since history, right? That people haven't really, say, explained quite well. So I'm going to try to do my best. Again, try to do it as a first principle. So what is first principle? Basically, in a nutshell, first principle answers are if there's no exceptions to the rule. Okay, simply as that. If your belief systems, if your logic, if your belief systems, if your religions, if your scientific data and so on like that has exceptions to the rule, you're not at the level that you need to be. You need to search deeper. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying that it might be okay for this consciousness, or at the level that we're at currently, but it's not going to work for the future, or it's not going to work at a higher level consciousness, right? So back in the day, maybe in the Stone Age day, doing things in a certain way worked out well, right? But if we carry that, say, logic over in today's world, it doesn't work out well, right? That shit doesn't work out because it's outdated. Same thing here. First principle answers don't get outdated, because they're timeless. They come from a timeless realm, and that's where you want to go, right? So this is what Elon Musk is searching for. That's what most of us are searching for. Again, first principles reasons, or first principles explanations on why life is the way it is, right? Life explained. And then you can use it. Your kids can use it. Your grandkids can use it, and so on. You can use it 1,000,000 years from now. And again, it doesn't change, because it's the principles of, well, basically nature. And that's what XI is, exponential intelligence. So helping you become exponentially intelligent. Okay. XI is basically a science. It's a science of, well, pretty much everything. It can explain pretty much everything for you. And in the near future, it probably will be recognized as a science, from what I'm predicting. All right. So what are some of the questions that we're going to be answering? And they're all over the board. okay? Because this is about life, okay? I'm not here to give you, and the reason why I can explain it is because I'm not a professional at, helping you get wealthy. I'm not a professional at getting you, better relationships or healthier versions of yourself or whatever it might be, or spiritual answers. But with that in mind, I've helped. And raise your hand. I know this is a recording for you because, again, I'm going flying to Africa during the Moss on Sunday hours. But how many of you have become, again, successful, have regained your life, your health, have had fantastic relationships? Again, I'm not saying I cure anybody or anything like that, but what I do, or what XI does, is it allows you to become the best version of yourself. Right now, you're running a limited version of who you are. Okay. So what I do is I help you create the limitless version of who you are. Okay. There's three things that we have to consider before we move on to answer these questions for you. Is one, okay, the answers I will give you does not start here. It's not about your psychology. It's not about brain frequencies. It's not about hypnosis. It's not about NLT. It's not about just sheer force. It's not about anything like that. It doesn't happen here. It goes way beyond. Again, because this is not first principle. There's a lot of things that happen before you can even think. Okay, we need to get to your master blueprint, and that's what exponential intelligence allows me to do. Again, through the 3 near-death experiences, I can help teach you how to access those higher realms without you having to go to it. And this is what I do on the 18-day hyper meditations, some of the private events that we do, some of the private sessions that we do, and a lot of free stuff that we do here. The XI podcast, right? Exponential Intelligence podcast. That's free for you. Moss on Sunday is free for you. So, and then obviously social media. The second thing, okay, it's not about accumulation. Most people will go, if I accumulate X, whatever X is, love, money, intelligence, helping people, looking good in front of God and so on like that, then my life will be fantastic. It's not about that either. Okay. What it is about, it's about you operating in the dimension that you should be to become the optimized self, or what I say, your limitless self. So it's about your multi-dimensional identity of who you are. Okay, this dimension, or this simulation of who you are over here in this point in time, the fourth coordinate, isn't working well. It's ill, doesn't have any money, it's sick. No matter what you do at a psychological level, no matter how much you accumulate, you're still going to be ill and sick. If you don't believe me, look around. Okay, look at the news, Google wealthy individuals that commit suicide or aren't that happy, or, they could be happy for a little bit, but then look at how they've aged, right? You've seen a lot of those. Look at how your family has aged, right? That's because they stayed in that dimension. Psychology or anything like that, again, didn't help. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but you want to change the dimension, or change your frequency into another dimension of yourself, into another simulation or another environment of yourself. And then you become from the limited to the limitless. And this simulation runs somebody who's healthy, somebody who's wealthy, somebody who has fantastic, opportunities come forth for them. Okay. Again, it's the simulation or the dimension of what you are resonating at, or the dimension that you say sustain yourself or you create yourself, dictates on how happy and how abundant you are versus anything else you do. Okay. If you don't believe me, look at the world, Google it, look around you, look at yourself, look inwards, and you go, shit, man, this guy might be telling the truth. So without further ado, let's jump in. We're gonna answer some of these questions again, depending on time. We've got, and these are experiential answers as well. What that means is that the answers at a deeper level already. So when I tell them to you, you might feel that it's like, damn, I might not like it up here, but somewhere deep inside, it resonates with me. Why is that? Or, a week down the line, it's like, God, I hate that Moss guy. But then I stick in your brain. I'm there. It's like a shadow. And what I said just like comes up for you. It's like, oh shit, that guy's right. I hate that. Right. Some of you are like that. And then again, it's because what I'm telling you is already genetically coded. I'm just telling you the physics of how you are genetically coded, or the physics of how to have a successful life. You already know it. You just forgot about it. All right. So some of the questions are, what are some realistic ways to get rich in 5 years? Is there life after death? What does it feel like to take DMT? What are the most common mistakes first-time entrepreneurs make? What is the meaning of life? I grew up hearing, it happens for a reason. If it's meant to be, it'll happen. What that's about, or, how your mind is programmed at birth and how to rewire it, by Bruce Lipton, secret to quantum leaping, how to quantum jump, secrets of the brain, how your subconscious mind controls your life, revelations that would make you question everything about the universe. Which comes from Cosmo and Wonder. I think it's a YouTube channel on there. Again, there's a lot of revelations that you will find here that you won't find anywhere else. So let's jump in. I'm gonna time myself here. I'm gonna do some drawings. Hopefully, all the technology works here. All right, so let's get started. What are some of the realistic ways to get rich in 5 years? Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to time myself to under like 5 minutes of questions so we can get as many questions as we can. Okay, I'm not here to answer the best, what's the best way or what solution to go towards or what to do or what technologies are available for you, anything like that. There's plenty of stuff out there. But what I am here to tell you, okay, is that those individuals who are seeking this question, why are you seeking that question? Do you think that answering or getting rich within the 5 years is going to make you happy? It's not. I can tell you right now, it's not. Many individuals that I work with, super successful, highly successful, top 40, Fortune 40 and so on like that, Fortune 100, so on like that. Success does not equal happiness, no matter what Grant Cardone or any of those individuals. Look, I got a bigger watch, I got this plane, I got this. That includes happiness. It's not happiness, right? You're still getting old just like your parents do, right? You're still getting sick. You're still having, arguments with your wife. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. Whatever. Scratch that. Anyway, the thing is that, you're that same person. But when you become successful, you magnify who that person is deep inside. A lot of you, a lot of CEOs, and let me draw this out for you. Okay, this is what happens to a lot of CEOs, by the way. We'll share the board here. I'm going to be wealthy. Okay, I want to be wealthy in 5 years. This is me. This is me here, and I'm very unhappy. Right? Basically, I'm a sheep here. I've been pushed around. I've been bullied, and I'm going to show the world by becoming really successful, right? Through talent. This is how, the Silicon Valley started, right? By a lot of those individuals who were bullied. Thank God they were bullied. Otherwise, we wouldn't have technology like Zoom. I'm just making a joke. Again, you don't have to be bullied, but a lot of those individuals, a lot of technology is literally because of that. A lot of those individuals, highly intelligent people, not socially skilled, they got bullied, they got pushed around, and they had enough of it. They go, fuck it. I'm going to go be this person. So in their mind, what they do is like, if I make a hell of a shitload ton of money through my technology and through my intelligence, I'm going to be, I'm going to be this person here. That, again, this is supposed to be somebody that is, say, muscular and handsome. So sorry if you didn't get that. But again, oops, maybe I should have drawn it this way. Again, he's got the pecs and, the abdominals, and again, a very handsome man, right? So I'm going to go transfer from this to this if I make a lot of money. How many of you are actually thinking that way, right? You're going to look more handsome. Sometimes you do, because there are a lot of insecure people. By the way, there's been a test on that, right? They've changed, this is true, women, they've changed how much a man makes. Okay. And it shows how handsome, the more the man makes, the more handsome they become. Kind of crazy, but it doesn't work out that well, because when you connect with that person, it's not about the money. Again, it's about the frequencies inside. But again, that's a side point. I want to get to the point here. So, and how many of you do this, right? You're a sheep, you're insecure, you're incomplete. You might have been pushed around, you might have gotten abused, and you go, you know what? I'm going to end all that, and I'm going to turn into, Wonder Woman or Wonder Man, right? Or Superman. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Superman or Wonder Woman, right? I'm going to be that thing that everybody loves. But what happened? Nothing. What happened? This is a magnifier. Money is a magnifier, just like, say, relationships are a magnifier, right? You, for example, in a relationship, what happens, right? You get to know people, you get to know that person, you get to, really connect with them, you're starting to fall in love. And then what happens when you fall in love? All your insecurities show up. So you're going from, say, a level 1 to a level 2, say, reality of yourself, a clarifier, right? You're not rendering yourself in this reality anymore because you're falling in love. You're going to this next level. Again, love, money, anything that is blessed upon you, basically, is a magnifier. But the magnifiers have this one rule. Okay, it says if you're at level 1, okay, and this is whether if you have money, you get a little money, it's like, damn, I like money, right? It makes me happy. It makes me choose whatever I want to, I can go places now, I can enjoy my life. Again, that's how people got sucked in, right? If you're in a relationship, for example, it's like, gosh, I love this person. But what happens when you start to love that person, right? You are going to a second level layer of consciousness of yourself, second layer of awareness. So you look down on your first layer of awareness. It's kind of like getting out of that maze that you were. And it's like, damn, I see that maze. And if my lover, if that person that I'm falling in love with finds out that, God, I'm a fuck up, I messed up in college, I sleep late, I snore, whatever, all these insecurities, pop up for you, right? All these insecurities pop up for you, and you go, damn, I'm going to hide all that stuff. And then what do? You fall in love for a little bit. And then what happens? That love, because you didn't clean your shit up, you go back down to a level 1. And then you wonder why your relationships don't work out. So I'm not here to tell you, I'm not here to tell you, I'm not here to tell you, sorry about that, guys. I'm not here to tell you, realistic ways to get rich in 5 years, but I'll give you some examples. I'm here to tell you to, again, fix and become congruent, be the best possible self that you can become. Once you have that inward expansion, once you are complete, okay, and you don't have to be totally complete, but good enough, money will get magnetized to you. Relationships will get magnetized to you, and they'll actually expand you and actually feel good about it. Otherwise, you'll end up like, who was that famous chef that committed suicide? Who's that Kate Spade that committed suicide? Who's, Nirvana that committed suicide, and so on and so on. Watch the movie Blonde. You'll see what I mean. Okay. It's about a movie about Marilyn Monroe. Not a good scenario, right? You think that person, Marilyn, would have had everything. Not a good thing. So again, I'm not here to tell you on ways to get rich. I'm here to tell you, you should do it right. And if you want to do it right, you can have sessions with me. We do have events and so on, courses that we can help you with to get it right. So money magnetizes to you. So those individuals who've done it right on XI, comment in. I know this is a recording, but again, comment in on how you've done it right and that money has expanded you. Okay. So one last thing, by the way, and this is just my predictions on wealth, Ethereum. is going to be really the key. It's the gatekeeper for a lot of, say, smart contracts and so on like that. From what I'm seeing, it's going to be used. From what I'm seeing, there's a lot of developers. I would say 75–80% of developers of Web 3.0 will be using Ethereum as a framework for their new apps, dApps, they call it. Okay, for Web 3.0 coming up. And you can do a shitload of stuff on Web 3.0 that you couldn't do on Web 2.0. Right now we're on Web 2.0. And then in the past, just basic texting, looking at, internet searches and so on. That was Web 1.0. So anyway, Ethereum is really good. Also, with the new business paradigm coming up, there's going to be a ton of new possibilities, new technologies, as, say, this reality crashes and burns like it does. This is where fortunes are made. If you look back in history, this is where fortunes are made. So you are in a perfect time. This isn't the end of the world. It's the beginning of new opportunities for those who are exponentially intelligent enough to take it. Okay. So again, be ready by doing the 18-day hyper meditations to transform you. So when that crash does come, and I do believe it's coming, it's not just me predicting it, it gives you a chance to build back up. That's where most individuals, by the way, have created their massive success. Right? Most people die in that scenario, but people who are especially exponentially intelligent, this is where they start to thrive and survive and expand and become limitless, become wealthy. Okay, so watch out for that. Is there life after death? Absolutely. There's different versions of that. There's different there's different versions of life after that. And let me just explain. I did. Oh, wait a second. Let me reset this. Okay, that one took a little too long. I want to try to keep it under 5 minutes. I'm going to share the screen for you on what really happens on when you die. Again, I did a full, I think about an hour and a half lecture series on the science of death. Okay, so this is just a brief snippet. Is there life after death? Most people go, they have this, mushy feeling about it. They see some of you again go, gosh, I saw my grandmother, and my grandmother hangs out with me or whatever. And scientists go, it is what it is. You're done. Many religions, the three basic religions, go, once you die, that's it. You never come back, right? You never reincarnate and so on. So what is the answer to that? Let me explain it really quickly in a scientific point of view. Okay, so you are here. Okay, this is your brilliant light. This is who you are. This is your pure potential. This is your limitless self. This could be your spirit. However you want to label it, I don't care. If you're atheist, this would be your pure potential. If you're religious, spiritual, this is your spirit. Okay, you have all the possibilities here. But because of what we call filters, again, to create density, to help you understand space and time, there are a ton of filters here. Okay, and again, I talk about this at a deeper lecture for you. Okay, and it's on the website sajady.com. So all these different layers of you are here, and each layer is a filter. For example, this is a layer of space and time. Without this filter, you would not be able to understand space and time. As Einstein said, is like without space and time, right? Everything would happen all at once. So again, all limitless possibilities of you would happen all at once. That's why we've created space and time. This next layer, by the way, is, say, the physics principles of how this reality works. Electromagnetism, gravity, and so on and so on and so on. Chemical bonding, all those things that create us, how our cells work, and so on like that. These are these layers. And then you get down to, say, the human filter. Okay, the human filter is basically says that as you and your light shines through, as it hits this human filter, what happens is that, well, you start forming yourself into human. This is where, again, if this filter was a squirrel filter, you would morph into a squirrel, if that makes sense to you. So this gives you all the genetics to be human. Does that make sense to you? So, and then these are your, say, genetic genetic filters, again, received from father, grandfather, and so on like that. And I'm getting too deep into it. But what happens is that this is you. This is the final product of you. Okay. This is the final product of you. And this is the main stage. So your light shines through here. And then you create yourself according to all these filters. And these are social, this could be, a social filter. This is like your life experiences here. If you've been abused and so on like that, you'll probably attract abuse. If you've been shortchanged, or if you're bad luck, again, you'll attract that over and over again until you say eliminate these filters for you. Okay. Again, it's not psychology. It's dimensions of time. How do you eliminate these filters? You change your dimension you change, say, the dimension that you are rendering yourself in. This is the dimension or the coordinate that you are rendering yourself in. If you created yourself here, you would be a different version of yourself. Does that make sense? Your light would shine through here, and then you'd be a different version. That's beside the point. Again, I could talk all day about that, but we're talking about, is there life after death? So what happens when you die? What most people do, and again, the Egyptians and some of the other cultures, they trained or they understood life after death. So they released they released that individual, and they went outside of space and time. Imagine this. This is a circle or a sphere, okay? And this is you. This is, and again, it might be getting a little complicated. This is you. You die. Okay, so you die, you're not here anymore, or your grandma, or your father, your mom dies. Basically, since it's not an awakened death, they just render themselves here. So they render themselves here without a body. Okay, so in this reality here, anything, this reality here is of density. This is the only reality that can create, say, density or experiences of time and space. The higher you go, the less, say, time and space has function on you. So at this level, you exist. Most individuals, again, because of hospice, because of how they die and so on like that, most people are not aware of how they die. So they just literally exist in this other realm without a physical form. And this is where some of you over here go, God, I feel grandma all around me. And what's happening is because you, for example, again, you're here, grandma is here. This is grandma, for example. We'll just put GM, grandma. Okay. And then what you do, since you're not, say, wholly connected to yourself, you kind of expand, or you start to, say, disconnect from where you are, and you kind of feel this vibe of your grandma, and that's how you connect, or that's where your grandma exists. Okay. The key is that you want to have an awakened death. What is an awakened death? An awakened death is that you start to realize that this is not you. This level of you is not you. This is not you. This is not you. And you clean all these levels up till you go beyond the filter of space and time, and you go back into your original state. Again, your natural spirit, or your limited self, limitless self here, your limitless self. Okay, that's an awakened death. So is there life after death? Absolutely. Actually, I've been there 3 times, well, actually more than 3 times, but this explains if there is life after death for you. Let's move on. Okay. What does it feel like to take what does it feel like to take DMT? All right. So DMT or other, say, psychedelic drugs, again, I can actually reproduce frequencies, and let me stop this timer, reset it so I can get back on time. So DMT or other psychedelic drugs or anything like that, again, I'm not condoning them. I'm not for them. I'm not against them or anything like that. But what I am telling you is that if you are trying to find who you are by taking DMT or any other mind-altering drugs, including chocolates or sex or abuse, or alcohol. Again, those are mind altering, by the way, right? A lot of, some of you, by the way, as I'm reading, although this is a recording, some of you hit yourself or abuse yourself or you cut yourself. That's a mind altering state. It puts you into a state that you get, say, connected and you find a euphoria from it, okay? Obviously, it's not a good way to go because, again, you'd need more and more abuse, okay? The key is that I can actually create experiences, and I have through, I can create, say, a mushroom experience for you. Take a deep breath in. I can create an LSD experience for you without taking that drug for you. I can create a DMT experience for you. Again, it's all about frequencies. I can generate pretty much any frequency for you and you'll experience it, okay? Especially if you're open to it. Take a breath in. So the key here is DMT. It's supposed to be that God experience, right? That expansive experience. So what is that? I'll explain that for you. It is a euphoric experience if you are awakened, but I'm going to give you some of the side effects that you want to watch out for. So this is more of a cautionary tale. Okay. If you're lost, if you're confused, if you're depressed, so on like that, you take DMT to find yourself or get connected to your higher self, you'll get lost. Okay, back in the diagram that I did, right? And well, let me just share the screen again for you. Again, here you go. Again, layers, right? Your original self is here, and then you are over here. Okay, you're over here, right? So basically, again, your light shines through here. What you do is you take a psychedelic drug. It messes up the brain sensors. It messes up, say, your coordinates in realities. It messes up your coordinates in realities, dimensions, and consciousness. So basically, it fucks you up enough to not understand where you are, how you render yourself. So what that means is that you literally are dying or you disconnect from your body. So what you do when you have a euphoric experience is that, well, your physical body is here, okay? But then you're not hallucinating, but you leave your physical body here. You leave your physical body here. DMT experience, again, that euphoria that you experience is that you are experiencing your body at this level. Okay, and that's where it becomes euphoric. And you go, well, shit, what's wrong with that? Right? Because that's what you want to do. That's your purpose in life. Well, the problem with that is that when the drug dissipates, you find yourself here. You find yourself back here. It's not a good thing because once you realize the possibilities, and I've gone through this without DMT, I've just gone through this through near death, where I've actually found myself way the hell up here, beyond space and time. Okay. What happens is that when you come back down, you get depressed. And there's been a ton of people that have had, say, mind altering drugs or Kundalini experiences and so on that have totally fucked themselves up. Okay. The other thing is that a lot of times if you're, say, you're not the best at, say, understanding how time and space work for you. And you go, well, what is that about? Okay. Again, what happens is that, say you have that experience, and then when you float back down to this level, you're not rendering yourself here again. And I'll give you a coordinate, by the way, just to help you out. Okay. There we go. So I'll give you a coordinate. So you're up here, and this is coordinate, 3. This is coordinate, 4, 5, 2, because 3-dimensional space. Okay. And again, those numbers are just for clarity. Okay. So what happens is that you elevate yourself to some place, you come back down, you don't render yourself at 4, 5, 2. Okay. These are, by the way, so those who are a little sciencey, the XYZ coordinates. Okay. XYZ coordinates 4, 5, 2. Okay. What happens is that, again, you don't render yourself back exactly precisely in coordinate XYZ 4, 5, 2. You render yourself maybe a little off, maybe 3.9, maybe 7, maybe 1. And then your mind or your brain thinks that, gosh, this is where I should be, but why do I feel off-centered? How many, again, have taken drugs, maybe back in the day, maybe not now, but how many of you have taken drugs and it's like every time you do it, you feel off-centered, and then you need to reconnect and you go, God, I got to go find myself. Because again, you're trying to find yourself up here, which distorts you down here. So when you're doing drugs or anything like that, I'm not condoning that, but you want to know exactly, say, where you are rendering yourself in the fourth dimension. Again, XYZ coordinates in this three-dimensional space. Okay. The fourth dimension, again, is where you create yourself in space and time. So before you do any of that, make sure that you are strong enough and you understand where you are in space and time before you do a trip. A lot of times, a lot of people, and again, I'm not condoning this, but a lot of people, what they do is that they actually put a meditation of mind behind what they do while they're doing that. Okay. Those individuals who are, say, really sensitive, okay, and you're doing this in a group state, do not do it, because what happens is that when you leave your body, all their other bullshit, and there's this popular individual that does date with something, whatever it is, whatever it's called, thousands of people, right? They get them into a hyper state, they elevate themselves, they leave their body. It's literally like graduation, but it's not. You're not throwing hats, you're throwing your garbage out. And that's why you feel euphoric. You throw your garbage out and you go, oh my God, people are crying, people are releasing all that stuff. But what happens? What goes up must come down. Just like those hats, you grab a hat and it's like, fuck, this ain't my hat. Basically, you're going, fuck, this ain't my garbage. And you've got somebody else's garbage. You might feel euphoric for a couple of days, but after a while, it's like, shit, this isn't my garbage. And you feel even worse. Same thing, okay, without the drugs. So again, be mindful, okay, especially if you are, that sensitive person, okay? So be careful on how you do DMT. I might actually do a class on that, on how to take, psychedelics and so on properly. Actually, I did do a meditation, and I even put out the personalities of certain drugs. It's out there. If the team can put it on for you as a link, I think that'd be a fantastic for you. If not, contact customers. Okay, we'll move on. What are the most common mistakes first-time entrepreneurs make? Let me just reset this again. The most common mistake that most people don't even think of is that they lose themselves. Okay, they lose themselves chasing their dream. They sacrifice themselves, they sacrifice their love, they sacrifice their health, they sacrifice everything. So when they do become successful, they're not that person that was. If you don't believe me, okay, look at Jeff Bezos. Super cool guy in the beginning. Now he's a tyrant, right? Look at Steve Jobs. Super cool guy. He was that maverick, right? That was going to free you from the system. He's going to break you away from the system. But what happened? He lost his identity. He's lost his space. And then he became the system. He became so big. Apple became so big that, say, the government couldn't even, say, control him. Right. So again, what you want to do, the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make is losing themselves, chasing after their dreams. Whenever you chase after your dreams, no matter when you accomplish or what you accomplish, say you go, I want my product, product X to be, the biggest in the world, whatever it is, you're right. I want to sell 1 million units. Okay, that's great, right? So you chase after that dream. But the key component is that when you're chasing after your dream like that, what happens for you? You lose it. You accomplish your dream. But since the process, it's the journey that counts. Since you didn't expand into yourself, you didn't really learn about yourself. Just like the first answer I did on on what are some of the realistic ways to get rich in 5 years, it's basically the same thing, right? You lost yourself, chasing that dream. So you accomplished what you got, right? You made, I don't know, $1 million or $1 billion. And then people who get that, it's like, gosh, I'm really, really happy for a day. And then next, what happened? Many entrepreneurs do that and they lose. And then what do? Oh, fuck, I'll start another company. And again, they'll start another company, and that's what makes them happy, right? It's the chase. So again, it's the chase. You have to keep chasing and chasing and chasing. But whenever you're chasing something, you never reclaim yourself. You'll get older and older, and you'll always be chasing yourself. So what you want to do is what I talked about again on what are some of the realistic ways to get rich in 5 years. Okay. You want the same, say, trends or patterns. You want to find who you are first. And what you do is, like, as you go after your dreams, okay, what you do is, like, you create that identity of who you are. You become a grander, a stronger, and more intelligent person, not by say sacrifice, by understanding who you are, by understanding your limitations, by understanding your incongruencies. And then when you grow and expand, you don't have to really chase. What'll happen is that opportunities will show up for you more so than you think. High-level entrepreneurs who have been highly successful, they haven't done it completely correctly, but again, they've become highly successful. That's what they've done. They've created it in their mind so well, and they've morphed into the individual that can accommodate, say, that type of success or whatever product launch or whatever that they need. So again, the key is that one of the biggest mistakes that people make is that they chase after their dreams. The second mistake is that they don't resonate with the individual or the frequency. They don't become the individual, say, that can accept that sort of success. So when they become successful, it destroys them rather than helps them. Okay, so hopefully that answers. We'll move on. Let's reset this. What is the meaning of life? And again, I talk a lot about this. If you listen to the XI podcast, Xponential Intelligence podcast, and many other things that I've done, it literally tells you about this. The meaning of life. Why am I in this world? What is my purpose? Does each individual here on earth have a unique mission? No. They don't. Okay. I hate to say it, no matter what religions say, I've worked on hundreds of thousands of individuals, and this is basically what I've found out. Okay. You might think I'm totally wrong, but if you follow this method, you will find, say, your purpose. Okay. So your purpose here, are you ready for this? Okay. Your purpose, you are here. Okay. This is your limitless self. This is your limitless self. And again, you have all these filters. Okay, thousands of filters. Some of you might call it your genetic makeup. Over here would be, by the way, as a side note, your gene pool. Okay, this is a G, your gene pool. Okay, and this is you. Again, this is you. So your purpose is your underlying purpose, no matter what you do. You want to fall in love, you want to save the whales, you want to save the world. By the way, the world doesn't need saving at all. Okay, if we are all awakened to a higher level, if you were creating yourself at this level without these filters, if you were projecting yourself from this level, for example, and eliminating all these filters of, prejudice, abuse, those are all filters that people run. Those are all filters within the human consciousness. If you eliminate all that and project yourself from here, a pure filter of yourself down to this level, and create yourself in physical form, you'd be in a bliss state. And this is what your purpose is. So again, this eliminates, if you have genetic structure, that's not you. So your purpose is to be the best version of who you are. Okay. For example, your name is Sam, okay, or Samantha, whatever you choose. For example, you want to be the best Sam or Samantha that you can. But if you look like your mom, it's not the best version of you, right? Because it's your mom's version. I don't care if your mom is, you know, a Hollywood movie star and just sexy as hell. It's not your version. Many of you who've seen this, many of you, again, beautiful individuals, and you go, damn, I look ugly. Because again, you start to awaken and you go, shit, that's not me. That's mom's, right? But then you peel away the mom's version and then you become even more beautiful. This is just one scenario. So what is your singular purpose? Your singular purpose is to connect your timeless self, your limitless self here, X, with your time-bound self here, time-bound self here, and have as less filters as you can you have as less filters as you can to create yourself in this reality. So that is your purpose. And that might sound really strange. How you get there, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as you're not destroying others, because again, you'll create more filters, by the way. As long as you're not destroying or oppressing others to find who you are, you're totally fine. So you can be a clergyman, you can be a businessman, you could be whatever, you know, political person, whatever it might be. It doesn't matter. Physical things don't matter. The key is that, are you going towards your higher version of who you are, or are you going away from the higher version of who you are? Okay, the original version of who you are is right here. Again, this is you right here. Okay, you want to come back to who you are. So your purpose is to, at a deeper level, understand time and space. Once you understand time and space, your multidimensional selves, okay, you'll start to be the best version you can. You'll start to be the closest to who you are. Again, you will be closer to this version of yourself here, and you will experience yourself in physical form here without, say, the limitations or distortions of society, your genetic patterns, humanity, or anything like that. And that's what your original purpose is. Okay, so in short, your original purpose is to understand time and space so much that you can render yourself here without the necessity of all these damn filters that we've created. Simple as that. Okay, and you might go, shit, that's really fucked up. That's my purpose. Well, try it once. Try to find yourself, eliminate as many filters as you can, and notice how euphoric that you feel and how grand you feel and how connected you feel. Okay, that's your original purpose. People go, well, you know, if I make money or I help people and so on like that, it's not your original purpose. By the way, when you get close to death, interview those individuals. Not when you don't get close to death, interview individuals who are close to death. And you'll see that they might not explain it the way I did, but it's like, gosh, I didn't find myself. That's what most people say. It's like, damn, didn't have a chance to find myself. I was too busy doing X, right? So hang out with a lot of people who are dying on their deathbed. Ask them what's really important, okay? They'll go, well, it's the love. Of course, the love, right? Finding yourself. That's what it's really about. So remember that. We will move on. And we might not get to all of these. I grew up hearing it happens for a reason, or if it's meant to be, it will happen. Let me reset the timer again, guys. This is a simple one. You know, people go, well, it happened for a reason, and if it's meant to be, it'll happen. True, but basically, you're just running a program. If you're running a program of, say, being, say, shortchanged, if you're running a program of being taken advantage of, if you're running a program of, say, you know, good things happening to you, you know, good luck and so on like that, well, that's your program. So things, you will attract things that will be meant to happen to get you into, you know, good fortune or being shortchanged or whatever. So basically, it's not like God is up there going, dictating on what's going to happen to you. Basically, look at your filters that you're running. Look at your genetic patterns. Look at your mom. Look at your dad. Look at your ancestry and so on like that. And you'll probably go, oh, shit, man. This is why my life is the way it is. How many, again, commented, how many of you in XI, especially when you did the total human reset, started to realize it's like, damn, I'm just like my mom, or I'm just like so-and-so. I was just like Aunt Bessie, right? So that's why things are meant to happen, because you're running the same program as Aunt Bessie in this example. You're going to get the same output as Aunt Bessie. Simple as that. They're not just meant to be. You change your program, okay? Your meaning or what was supposed to happen to you fucking changes. It's not about God. It's not what you did. It's not how you did it. It's not about looking up at angels or anything like that. It's just a fucking program, guys. You put it, it's like throwing in widgets. This widget maker makes square widgets for you, right? You throw anything in there, it'll make a square widget for you. Simple as that. You throw anything in your life, you jump into any experience in your life, it'll throw out the same experience for you because you're running the same patterns. If you don't like square widgets, fix the component. Most people, what they do is like, you know what? They throw everything in their life. Life makes them a square widget, what they don't like, and they'll color that square widget. They'll cut that widget into something else. They'll carve it into something else, like, you know, using psychology and all success and, you know, God and all that stuff. And they'll go, wow, okay, that's my life. But they still feel like shit because they're still making square widgets. So what I'm telling you is like, look back at what you're making, look back at what you're creating. We do that by spatial referencing. Okay. And I teach you that again on the 18 days. Simple as pie. Understand the programs. Look at your experiences, not just one experience. Look at multiple experiences that you've had. Look at, say, for example, dating. Look at the people that you've dated and ask yourself, it's like, and most people will go, you know what? I've dated suckers, you know, or I've dated individuals that are X, whatever X might be for you. Why did you attract somebody like that? Why do you keep attracting somebody like that? It's a fucking program that you're running. Simple as that, right? Bottom line, it's you. You change your program, you change your life. Simple as that. And then you will attract somebody else. It's just life doesn't happen for you, okay? Life will happen to you, okay, if you keep running those old programs. But you change your programs, again, by becoming exponentially intelligent, what will happen is life will happen for you, right? Because you're running the right programs, right? So that's a pretty simple one. It's straightforward, hopefully, right? It's not this philosophical, I don't know, some of these other Sadhguru, again, I love the guy, or some of these other people, they give you all these fucking explanations about God and this, you know, man did this and women did this, and because of this and all that, and that's why. No, it's not. It's just a fucking program, guys. Stop your program. Stop everything that you do. Analyze what you're doing, and then get to the level where you can change your master blueprint. That filter, that widget maker that makes your life. Change that, and it'll output something else for you consistently. Simple as that. It'll change it for you. How many of you have changed your life like that, and it's consistent for you? That's what I'm talking about, guys. We'll move on. This is how your mind is programmed. Let me reset this for you. How your mind is programmed at birth and how to rewire it. This is by Bruce Lipton. Okay. This is really fantastic, guys. Again, I'm going to share my screen for you. It's really, really simple. I'm going to make it really, really simple for it on why rewiring, and this also is the secrets of the brain, how your subconscious mind controls your life, so on like that, right? Those two questions we can put together for you. So this is the way this works for you. Okay. Again, remember the widget maker, right, that we talked about on just, well, shit just happens, right? So basically, this is basically how stuff happens, okay? You have, it's a top-down, it could go sideways as well. I just have more room this way. This is your master blueprint, okay? This is your default state. This basically is, say, the laws of how you create yourself, okay? Your genetic patterns, everything about you is within your master blueprint. Okay, I'm not going to talk about how you got that. That's a whole different lecture on that. But what happens is that the master blueprint dictates your, say, super subconscious. Okay, your super subconscious dictates on how you run, which dictates your, and then this, whatever this program is dictated, this runs your subconscious. Okay, this runs your subconscious. This runs your subconscious, and then from there runs your, say, conscious mind. Your conscious mind, and this is your cognitive thoughts. This is the area of, you know, your emotions. This is where logic happens. You know, this is where you think, you know, and so on like that. Again, your brain is not made for thinking. It's a processing unit, by the way. This is where you're thinking. This is where most people have ideas or create ideas for themselves. Again, brilliant individuals don't create ideas at this level. They don't create ideas at this level. They create ideas from a different level, and I'll just show you that in a second. So what Bruce is saying and what Joe Dispenza is saying, and this is where psychology comes in, right? And from here, the cognitive mind, this is where, again, their emotions are here, but again, it creates your emotions or how you see your emotions. So this is basically an emotional or intuition, say, calibrator. So let's call it this a calibration unit. Calibration system. So anything, for example, in this scenario goes through this calibration unit. Okay. And then it outputs your physical form, your physical identity, your image, and so on, your body shape, your facial structures, everything creates your physical form. And then from there, it creates your life experience here. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense for you. I'm trying to cut it down. Again, we go very in depth, like we did Driving to Success. We played this out at a very, very deep level. We went through each portion of that. Who did the Driving for Success this past year in Brainerd? Quite amazing, wasn't it? We got you into a driving state where, again, we disconnected you from your version of who you think you are, based on these scenarios. So what happens when you use, again, your subconscious? So this area right here, oops, not the calibration part, but this area right here for you, okay? This is where, say, Bruce Lipton connects. And again, love the person, love the guy, but again, this is the psychology. This is where brainwave technology, this is where, there we go. This is where psychology, this is where sheer willpower, this is where a lot of a lot of the technologies nowadays that we use that are outdated, that it's been around for hundreds of years. This is where NLP and so on like that. This is where you change. But again, what you want to do is change here. Okay, so you can change your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind, again, is based upon or dictated by your super subconscious. Okay, what's happened to you at a very, 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 very deep genetic level. Say your family heritage, right? If your family heritage was, say, born in famine, and there's been tons of, say, psychological studies by that, by the way. If your family heritage is done by, say, famine, right? 5 generations down, that person, that child has never seen famine or any shortage, will feel like they've been in famine. Okay, why? Because it was in their super subconscious, or basically this leaked into, say, their master blueprint. And now the master blueprint is riddled with distortions. Okay, and then it filters all down. So you can change a lot here, which is totally cool. And this is what's cool about XI. You can change all this stuff here, not knocking Bruce Lipton down or any of those great individuals. Got a lot of great content. I don't do any of that stuff. Okay, I change you here, your master blueprint. I change your infrastructure. Imagine this, right? You want to build a beautiful house, right? Bruce goes, yeah, you know what? We can build you a beautiful house. Got this great architect, great wiring, great designer, and so on like that. But it's built upon the foundation of, say, your family lineage and society's lineage and whatever happened in human history. Again, up here. That house is not going to support, is not going to be supported by this foundation. Simple as that. It will never support that. That's why success doesn't satisfy. So what we do again is bring you back to your original foundation. And then what Bruce Lipton does or anybody else, it works a lot better because we cleared all the bullshit that you say that this master blueprint got fucked up with. Simple as that. Okay. And how it got fucked up, well, that's for a whole different subject on its own. Okay. And I talk about that. It's called not the multiverse, the multisphere of your personality. So you can look up that as well. All right, guys. The only thing that we didn't do is literally quantum leaping, quantum jumping, so on like that. I do help you with that quantum leaping, quantum jumping, and it's not about electrons and so on. It's literally about, hey, you start to understand again through, advanced, say, spatial referencing. If you're familiar with that, I teach you that on the 18-day hyper meditations, by the way, which will be starting in December for you, the 18-day hyper meditations to transform your life radically. Really a powerful program that's coming up for you in December. It does literally change you in the 18 days. It's quite intense. If you're new to me, I would just take the essential. I know I can tell you and I can make more money going, hey, take the advanced accelerated. But no, if you're new to me, if you're new to me, I don't care how advanced you are. I don't care if you take Bruce Lipton for 10 years or anybody else that's out there. All I'm saying is that these are really intense programs. So intense that I encourage you again, just if you're new, or you're very sensitive to frequencies or transformations, take the essential for you. It's just less headache for me, and it's less headache for customer service because the changes are so intense for many people. Sometimes it derails them. Okay. I want you to be, say, the best possible self, but I want you to do it right. Don't worry about time. Okay? Again, it's not a time space. It's not about time. I got to do this. I got to do this quickly. No, there's always time. There's never time to do it right the first time, but there's always time to do it again. Does that make sense? So again, if you're new, just take the essential. So that's the 18-day hyper meditations coming up. I don't know if the team can put a link on that for you, but that will help you clear, again, your master blueprint. So whatever you've done with Bruce or Tony Robbins or anybody else that's out there will actually give you, say, the results that you wanted, the results that you searched. All right, guys. I don't know how much time we had here, but quite a bit. So thanks for being here. I'm not going to scan anybody. Next week, we'll scan more individuals. As we end, notice what you notice the details, and I'll see you on the next time around. All right. Peace.
Hey guys, Moss. Hey guys, Moss here. Hope you're doing well. Just decided to do an impromptu. Hope did you guys like the questions? The answers to questions, that have baffled mankind, right, for centuries, right? But these were real answers that you can actually use. There's a lot of answers that people give to those questions, and they're so etheric, and there's philosophers that volumes on things of that nature. And gosh, what do you do with it? Which is really, literally, what do you do with that kind of stuff? I mean, it's good. It's good for I guess it's good brain food, but then the problem is it doesn't really change your life. But you'll start to see that just by listening, or just by listening to the answers that I gave you, even if you don't believe it, even if you think, this guy's bullshit, there hasn't been science to prove it and so on like that. By the way, there's a lot of scientists who came up with a lot of concepts and ideas that wasn't proven. Well, because they're new. Obviously, there's no proof if something is new. So, that kind of cyclical theory kind of fucks the hell out of me. Anyway, really bugs me when they, well, there's no proof. Well, yeah, it's such a new concept. How can there be proof yet, right? So anyway, the key point is that when you start to listen to those answers to the questions, and especially if you have a lot of problems with it, okay, you might get angry at some of the stuff I said. Again, it's not me, it's not the answers, it's just something that is. It's something that's inside you because your cellular identity or your cellular structure is really changing. It's really transforming. It's because it's not what's up here that changes your life. It literally is at a genetic makeup. So when your genetic makeup or your DNA starts to hear the truth, it's like, damn, no matter what you believe up here, no matter what you adhere to it, no matter how much you've invested in it, it doesn't fucking matter. It just doesn't matter at all, guys. And then what happens is your cells weaken, and this is where that irritation really starts to come in for some of you, not all of you. Those are who are XIers. You've probably gone through that irritation mode. Again, the irritation isn't XI. It's about all your bullshit that you were holding on to before that wasn't true. Okay. So again, none of that irritation, none of that detox, none of the weird feelings and so on like that that you go through the process of learning is about XI. XI begins when you're complete, when you're like say a seasoned human and you know what a human is supposed to be like. That's where XI begins. All the stuff that some of you go through, that's all your bullshit. That's all your family's bullshit. That's all your lineage. That's society's bullshit. That's mistruths, just straight out lies that haven't worked out for centuries, and it's not going to work out for centuries ahead of time or millennia ahead of time. It's just not going to work out. It's time for that shit to stop. So on Moss on Sundays, once 1 week out of every month, I'm going to be dedicating to answering really hard, say, questions with very simplified answers. And the reason why they're simple is because, well, there's a lot of thought that went into it. Okay, if you look at anything that's really simple, right, there's a lot of thought that went into it. That's why it's so simple. Everything else has been thought of, so it becomes to a simplified version or simplicity in XI terms or first principles terms is about getting to the top level, where there is no other, say, there's no other exceptions to the rule. And then when you get to the first level reason on why stuff happens the way that it does, it actually becomes very simple. This is where you go, shit, that's that aha moment, right? That we start to understand. And then our life becomes simple because we don't have to juggle. We don't have to juggle all the exceptions to the rule. Say that you believe in something, whatever it is. Just think of anything that you believe in, and then we'll run here. Um, Again, just think of anything. Just think of anything that you believe in. Okay, outside of XI, or some of you who are XIers, it's like, oh shit, it's hard to believe in something now. But again, think of something, and then think of the exceptions to the rule. Okay, think of how many exceptions to the rule are there in your religions, in your political beliefs, in your, say, health systems, in the way you run your families. You know what I mean? You're always like fighting like two concepts. Most people can't handle that anyway, right? But usually there's 3, 4, 10, dozen, say, different ways of looking at something. Okay, because it's not, again, the first level reason. Again, there's exceptions to the rule for that. And if there is, you have to go at a freaking level and try to make all those non-truths real for you. You have to make them real or believable for you to hold on to that principle that you believe in. That's a lot of fucking work, guys. Okay, it's a hell of a work to try to juggle that many, for some of you, that many lives, that many lies, right? That many concepts. So simplicity comes by, delineating or going to the top level principle. It's a lot harder, right? Because you have to go inwards for that. And that's why many people just choose to believe many different scenarios that are out there. That's not real. Just because it's easier to believe in a whole lot of shit that doesn't really, say, isn't really true compared to going inwards, because it hurts more, because you have to look inwards and see who you really are at a deeper level. And how many of you have gone through that? Again, comment in I can't see the comments where I am right now, but so I won't be reading any of you. But overall, I'll read the masses, by the way. So again, in this time of transformation, where space and time are becoming more simplified, they're becoming more efficient. You can't hold on to as many lies. So basically, you are being elevated to a higher level of consciousness. Elevation, by the way, or self-actualization, or becoming one, or becoming united to your higher spirit. That's what that means. One thing means one thing, and that's it. Jesus even put it that way. There's only one way to ascend. There's only one way to enlighten. Obviously, it got fucked up, but basically, it's to awaken to your highest level that you can. Okay, it's not through him. It's just that you can follow. You follow his path, and I'm not talking about the religious patterns at all, because no offense against the religion. If the religion did work, again, or if you practiced it like him, you probably get the same results. But if you're not, then obviously it's wrong. Okay, so simple as that. So anyway, I just wanted to drop in. Oh, I was going to read the masses for a second. Just give me a second here. Overall, guys, November coming up, especially around this time. A lot of transformation, especially in the political system. You'll start to see an upheaval kind of happening for many countries, not just us, which is really good. Things really falling apart, where a new system starts to come in. And you'll start to see that in your families as well. Many of your families, right? You're starting to see that the old patterns, maybe old patterns inherited by your, your parents, and now you've got a family of your own. You're starting to see it's like, shit, that doesn't work. Many of you are going to go through the holidays, this Thanksgiving holiday, especially, if you've been into XI. Your XIers now, you're exponentially intelligent. You look at the family dynamics when you go back to the holidays or when people come over, and you're going to see it's like, man, there's a lot of patterns that are very incongruent, that are very inefficient, that we've been running for decades and decades and decades, and for centuries, so on. You're going to see it so blatantly that you can't deny it anymore. And once you can't deny it anymore, that's 50% of the battle, right? 50% of the battle of you becoming, say, the best human that you can be. And then the rest actually creates more momentum. And this is where real change happens, because the change not only happens for you. That's really the key. Real happens where your life just not only improves, but real change happens when you improve, your loved ones improve, their people around them improve, and so on. And you're going to start to see that wave. It's just like dropping a rock, a pebble in a pond, and it just expands out. It gets bigger and bigger, and you start to see the earth covered by it in a very short time. Even like towards the end of December, you'll start to see a lot of awakening, by the way. And that's because people are awakening, usually through XI, but there are other methods as well. Obviously, they're all the same. Awakening process is an awakening process. There's only one way to awaken. Okay. So, all right, guys, I got to take off. I just want to show you this. I posted on XI on Telegram, XI with Sajady. But this is the lounge here in Qatar. I'm just waiting here, and it's just gorgeous, isn't it? It makes me feel human. We're not like cattle, like crowded in a room where, they got uncomfortable chairs so you can't relax after. Have you ever seen that, right? Airports, you can't even like relax and sleep or do whatever. But these are just quiet lounges, and they got different areas. It's just amazing, man. Uh, that's the world should be going towards, being treated human. All right, guys, take care of yourself. I'll see you next Sunday live. And I want to thank the team for making it all possible. All right, I want to thank you. So subscribe, like, give it to your friends, especially those who you don't like. Okay, and see what they say. All right, guys. All right, man. Peace. I'll be out in Kenya, speaking at a few universities, so we'll get you updated on that. Again, guys, notice what you notice. Notice the details. If you don't like the details of your life, fucking change. It's time to change. This is the perfect time to change for y'all. All right, guys. Peace.